Hi, this will be Chapter 7, English Morphology by Alma Martinez for RLIT 6313. What is morphology? Morphology is the study of meaningful parts of words. However, according to this chapter by Freeman and Freeman, linguistics find it hard to define the term word. In Freeman and Freeman 2014, their book, Essential Linguistics, there is also developing a theory of morphology. The steps they shared are: step 1 is to break the speech into discrete units called morphemes. Step 2, you'd be able to categorize the unit, such as does it have prefixes or suffixes on the word. Step 3 would be grouping the units, and it would be different categories: a simple word such as tree, a complex word such as trees, a compound word such as bookkeeper, or a compound complex word such as teacups. And the fourth step would be traditional approaches to classifying words based on the semantic and the syntactic criteria. Linguistic approaches to classifying words. You have to look at the content and function words, such as Freeman and Freeman explored in Figure 7.3 on page 188. They looked at the parts of speech of such words. You also find the dependencies among the units. For example, forming a complex word with either the prefix or suffix first, it doesn't matter which one is added, such as in the word replacement. You could add re first to make replace, or you could add ment first to put placement. Regardless, you could still get all three, the root, the prefix, and the suffix at the same time. It doesn't matter the order of how it's added. As Freeman and Freeman continue to let us know types of languages, words, and sentences. We do have the Chinese language and the English language, where almost every word consists of just one morpheme, and it is referred to as analytic, where morphemes are not bundled to one another. Whereas when you look at the Latin language, it is synthetic and many inflections to words, such as Spanish and French are as well. You have agglutinative or polysynthetic. An agglutinative is a combination of many morphemes, where polysynthetic is a word that starts at the base and eventually you add more affixes to it. The Japanese language has 4 different sentences you can write. When all 4 of those sentences are translated in English, they all basically will mean the same thing, just depending on where their letters are located in the sentence, or the words are, and subject and the object of a sentence will be pointed out. All languages use endings and order to convey meanings in their sentences. How new words enter a language? Coining is one way, where words are used to label new inventions or products. Compounds, as we talked about earlier, where we're joining 2 free morphemes. We also have clippings or acronyms, which are of course abbreviated forms of words. We have blends, where we are combining new words, and we have back formations, where it is a process of new words added to the English language. We also sometimes borrow words from other languages. Freeman D.E. and Freeman Y.S. 2014. This is their conclusion for Chapter 7. What is morphology? Morphology is the study of words. A morpheme is the smallest meaningful unit of a part of a word. Morphemes can be free which means they can stand alone, or bounds, which means they must be attached to a free morpheme. Words can be simple or complex. Languages differ in the kind of words they contain, and there are a number of ways words will enter a language. In my article, The Place of Morphology in Learning to Read in English, written by Kathleen Rassel, 2019. Rassel K. 2019 defines morphology as a major organizing principle of English and other alphabetic languages, but has been largely neglected in theories of reading acquisition. Rassel K. 2019 also adds that these findings suggest that the acquisition of long-term morphological knowledge may be associated with ongoing development of reading expertise. Rassel K. 2019 also states that morphology has been relatively neglected in the theoretical conceptualizations of reading acquisition. Morphology is indeed an important degree of regulatory mapping between the English language, as stated by Rassel K. 2019. Rassel K. 2019 also suggests one particularly interesting aspect of English morphology is the relationship between spelling and the sound in order to communicate this important information about meaning. Rassel K. 2019 claims that neuroscientific data demonstrates the morphemic processing in skilled adult readers engages the ventral brain regions, which are thought to be involved in the mapping and spelling to meaning. There is a substantial evidence stated by Rassel K. 2019 that children come to the problem of learning to read that already possess the explicit morphological knowledge. Rassel K. adds that the data has led to proposals of morphological knowledge represented in some manner in lexile memory within the first years of reading acquisition. Pre-K, kinder, and first grade being those first years that the morphology in the learner are very important to make sure that they get those necessary skills and they practice with activities in the classroom, that the teacher has those activities ready for this child to use, as I will demonstrate in the activities for morphology. Rassel K. 2019 also suggests that there is a bridge between the forms and the meaning of alphabetic languages in regards to also establish explicit instruction of the relationship between letters and sounds. Going back to early childhood, that's what the teachers are working on with their students. Rassel K. also concludes that morphology is a major organizing principle of English. It's focused on morphological as simple words due to the fact that it focuses with younger children. Rassel K. summarizes the importance of morphology in English spelling suggests that explicit morphological instruction should be beneficial at some point in the process of learning to read for all young children. Okay, here instructional meaning activities. According to Jennifer Finley, morphology instruction can greatly improve students' vocabulary and comprehension skills by having engaging and effective morphology activities that teachers can use to help students understand and use morphemes such as prefixes, suffixes, bases, and roots. Jennifer Finley has a website where great morphology activities can be found and are ready for classroom use. As you can see, here's the link to that page, as well as the next 3 slides, we'll discuss 3 activities that I particularly liked from her website that are ready to use, easy to print, laminate, and you can use them with your students. Very little bit of prep time is needed, and that to me is a plus, because I'd rather spend more time getting activities that will enhance my students with their meaning and their words and learning the morphology of words, as opposed to taking a long time to set up a lesson that then I don't know. At least with these, since they're quick and easy, I can go ahead and set them up and see how long my students will need, if I'll need to be changing them periodically, or how often that'll happen. But I look forward to introducing you to the next 3 activities that come off from Jennifer Finley's website. Again, I hope you enjoy the activities as well. Okay, in that same website with the morphology activities, this is the second one that I particularly liked, the roll and affix. And the directions I stated here: you roll the cube, you create a word using the affix, you rolled it. If you rolled the same affix a second time, you create another word using the affix, or you use the first word you create in a sentence. Again, the students are now understanding that an affix can go at the beginning or an end. And this is just the first die. I believe there are 4 or 5 of them in the whole package there. And again, they are located in the website that is on the previous slide, where you can find more activities like this. But this is also one that you print up, laminate, and it's ready to go. It's ready. It doesn't, I believe in centers that don't take too much time to set up, because you're constantly changing them and adapting them to the students' needs. So anything that's easy, quick, and fast is something that I will definitely consider using in my classroom. This one is great because the students get to throw it. First of all, they release some of that energy, and at the same time, they think they're just playing, but they are actually learning about affixes, which is another part of the morphology, finding the meaning in words. So again, this is another activity that I really particularly enjoyed, and I know students will as well.